If I told you that one of the most controversial women in modern legal history was about to hand out roses on national television, you'd probably think I was reading from a rejected Saturday Night Live script. But over the last 48 hours, the internet hasn't been laughing, it's been losing its collective mind. The headline, "Amber Heard is the next Bachelorette," has ignited a level of digital fury that we haven't seen since the 2022 defamation trial. But before you start writing your protest letters to ABC, we need to take a very deep breath and look at the smoke and mirrors that allowed this specific rumor to go nuclear on April Fool's Day. The factual landscape of the situation is actually a lot more chaotic than a simple prank. We have to start with the vacuum ABC created. On March 22, 2026, The Bachelorette was supposed to premiere with its most controversial lead ever, TikTok star Taylor Frankie Paul. However, just 3 days before the first episode was set to air, the network pulled the plug entirely. The reason? An ongoing domestic assault investigation in Utah involving Paul. This left the franchise in a total freefall, with a massive hole in the schedule and a fan base that was already primed for a scandalous season. Into that void stepped a perfectly timed piece of transformative satire on April 1st, suggesting that the network was doubling down on the drama by casting Amber Heard. The public reaction was instantaneous and, frankly, terrifying. Within hours, viral clips of Heard's past testimony were being spliced with the Bachelorette theme song. The social media debate has since split into two distinct and equally loud camps. On one side, you have the depheads and anti-cancel culture activists who are viewing this, even as a rumor, as the ultimate sign of Hollywood's moral decay. On the other side, a surprising number of people are pointing to the Taylor Frankie Paul situation and saying, why not? The logic being that if the network was willing to cast an influencer under active investigation for domestic violence, why wouldn't they cast a woman who has become the global face of a similar controversy? This situation escalated because we are currently living in an attention economy where outrage is more valuable than ratings. The rumor wasn't just a joke, it was a stress test for the audience. It tapped into the very real context of Heard's recent reemergence. Just this past January, she made a rare appearance at Sundance for the documentary Silenced. She spoke about losing her ability to speak after the trial and the wrath she faced. For her supporters, the idea of her reclaiming her narrative on a show about finding love felt like a poetic, if bizarre, victory. For her detractors, it was a slap in the face to the Justice for Johnny movement. But let's talk about the original commentary and analysis of why this specific twist worked so well. It says everything about our current influencer and celebrity culture that we can no longer tell the difference between a joke and a real business strategy. We've seen the villain to hero pipeline work for countless reality stars. We've seen networks like ABC move away from their clean-cut roots to chase the viral numbers of the Mormon wives and mom talk crowd. When you lower the bar for entry, you can't be surprised when the public thinks the floor has fallen out entirely. This rumor affects Amber Heard's reputation in a way that is almost entirely out of her control. She has been living a quiet life in Spain with her children, appearing only for projects that align with her advocacy work. She hasn't touched the reality TV world with a 10-foot pole. And yet, because of a well-placed thumbnail and a desperate news cycle, she is back in the crosshairs of a debate she didn't ask to be part of. It highlights the unshakable nature of her image. No matter what she does, she is still viewed by the internet as a character to be cast in the next big drama, rather than a person trying to move on. We must clearly separate the confirmed details from the online theories. The confirmed detail is that the Bachelorette season with Taylor Frankie Paul was cancelled due to her legal issues. The confirmed detail is that Amber Heard is currently in Europe. The online theory is that ABC is in secret talks to save the franchise with a shock casting move. There is zero evidence from any reputable industry trade, no Variety, no Hollywood Reporter, to suggest this is anything more than a highly effective piece of rage bait. The pacing of the discourse has been frantic. 1 minute people are calling for a boycott of ABC. The next they are analyzing whether Heard's move to Spain was actually a soft launch for a European-themed season. It's a dynamic shift from the slower, more analytical tone we saw when she was at Sundance talking about her legal trauma. The internet has a way of turning real human experiences into punchy headlines, and this is the latest example. This leaves us with a much bigger industry question. Has reality TV finally reached its event horizon? If a network can't distinguish between entertaining drama and legal liability, like they did with Taylor Frankie Paul, is there any road back to the journey for love that defined the franchise for 20 years? The upcoming response possibility from ABC is what everyone is actually watching for. They have to announce a new plan for The Bachelorette soon, and until they do, these shock casting rumors will continue to fill the space. Whether the network chooses to return to its roots or continue chasing the scandal dragon will determine the future impact of the entire genre. For now, the Amber Heard Bachelorette saga remains a digital ghost story, a reminder that in 2026, the line between a prank and a headline is thinner than a rose petal. The tension is unresolved, and while Amber Heard likely has no interest in being the one to hand out the final rose, the world is clearly still obsessed with watching her every move.